So
Did you just say calendar for calculator?
Yes. But
Did I?
yeah.
Did.
Welcome in, chat.
it's okay. They're
Hi, chat.
Chat
super
probably heard that
interchangeable.
too.
They did.
They're being
It-
silly.
Very,
Well, I stand
very
on that.
weird.
If I'm gonna die on a hill, it's gonna be the stupidest one, and it's gonna be this one.
How did I know? How did I know? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me move your guys' token back to Velaki. That's where we're at.
Let's go.
So, wait, am I on Willow?
You are on Willow. Yes.
Yes, you are. Does anyone want to do a session recap of what happened last session?
So much happened. So much happened.
Too much happened.
We
So
managed to save Stella. That's the
Yes.
positive.
Mhm.
we learned that the
Cere-
Wachter family is into some cult shit.
Yeah. Cere learned that Nex is in fact not a monster and is in fact of some relation to her. If I recall correctly, the founder of her house. Which makes her go, oh shit, I've been mistreating them for this long? Oh no. So that's definitely changed Cere's perspective. We also encountered the, what were they called again? The super evil spooky spirit. I can't remember their name to save my life.
Gallows speaker.
Gallows
I was gonna
speaker.
say-
I kept thinking the hangman something, and I was going, no, it's not that. Yeah, the gallows speaker. We encountered the gallows speaker. After facing waves and waves of undead spirits, we eventually fought a very powerful spirit that almost brought us all down. However,
Learned
trauma
his,
dumping a little.
Also,
you learned his name is Leo Delisnier.
Yes,
Yeah.
Leo Delisnier.
who is
And he's had a
the
lot of names
brother
we
of
didn't
Strahd?
know.
No, he was one of the personal guards for Strahd.
Oh, okay. He helped Rod's brother, right? Or tried to kill.
No. He basically explained that, or said, you don't know if any of this is true necessarily, but he had said that Strahd had killed his own brother.
That's what I was remembering.
And while in an attempt to protect Strahd, his brother, his wife, Tatiana, he had been betrayed by the Wachter family, as Fiona Watcher's ancestor was his sister.
He was killed and entombed by his own sister, is what I have here.
Indeed. He was trapped. And eventually we fought him and we managed to defeat him in the end. And thus we were
However-
able to save Stella.
And in turn, also,
We
the
were
entire
on the
Watcher family.
ethereal plane,
And the
too.
entire
for
Wachter
that.
family too.
Yes.
We cooked with that very hard.
We also took a lot of damage.
This is true, but we did good. But to cap off the day, we all rested, and Cere took some time
Had a
to
stroke.
think about what she'd seen and encountered, and yes, she then had a stroke as she heard an ominous voice in her head. And at that
Oh.
moment, she realized she'd screwed up.
The voice of the hag.
The voice of the hag, and we came to the realization that she said she would whisk away that which my heart seeks and yearns for, and I had assumed that to be something like love. Instead, no, your heart yearns to live. Cere had a stroke and received 4 exhaustion points, and now is at death's door.
Yeah.
I believe we have 8 days to save her.
Yeah.
You guys were playing Darkest Dungeon. Cere is at 0 hit points. Has reached death's door. There is that red skull icon right next to your character. It's blinking, and like you're getting ready to have like a whole blown panic attack. And hey, we're gonna see if you get that virtue or not.
Hey,
were-
that one chatter that's always saying, "Hey, is anyone dead yet?" They might actually get their answer.
They might get their
No.
wish.
No. But we were able to consult with Father Lucian from the local church.
Mm-hmm.
He checked up on you and said that there isn't really much he can do, but maybe, hard maybe, someone from the Abbey of, was it St. Markovia?
Yes.
In Krezk could help. And so that is a mission to get there. And then not only that, but in, I think it was either 2 or 3 more days, we have that banquet with Strahd.
I thought it was 4.
How many days has it been? I don't know anymore.
Since the initial invitation, it has been 2 days.
Okay. So 3 days.
So 3 days, okay. So we have...
And I think that was everything.
As best can be described by the late great Wayne June. Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Otters.
And now the true test: hold fast or expire.
I chose expire.
You did. You really did.
You quiet down. You lay in bed.
You can't talk. You're passed out.
Let me brood.
Brood, you say? I will also say, for everybody else, do not forget to your yummy sleep things of rest, of healing.
We had a long rest or what?
Yeah,
What
you
a
guys were
convenient
able
time
to
for
sleep.
my mouse to die.
Do I get a long rest?
You do, however, you will notice that your benefits are not as great as everybody else's.
Joyous.
As I'm double checking to see what exhaustion you're.
Should be 3
5.
now.
Looking
I-
back at the
I got 4.
fight that we had, I dodged so much damage thanks to resistances.
Yeah, that really helps us a lot. Is it 5? I wrote 4 on my sheet.
I think I intended it to be 5 because at 5 you have no movement speed.
Yeah, 5 means I can't move.
Yeah.
Okay. That was worse than I thought.
Hey, you went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the long rest still put it down to 4?
No, as this is
It's
this
not
is an internal organ issue. Until this is fixed, Cere cannot drop below that degree of exhaustion.
You need to consult with Lady Boxer to get a cart.
Can they even like talk? Are they even conscious?
Yeah, they're conscious.
Okay.
The following day, anyways.
Okay.
Which reminds me, Mel, Kiso, don't forget to heal.
Oh, yeah.
You are still at 8 hit points.
Ow! My back. Good. Let me also do a quick one of these. Oh yeah, that's
wait.
5.
I have to do that too. Oh no. Hold on.
5.
Constitution. Yeah, I'm chill. All right.
You guys are heading over to the Wachter house for a cart and horse.
I ain't heading over
Yes.
nowhere.
I'd bring Sam with me or something.
Just
Yep,
in the
yep.
instance of like time's namesake and whatnot, you guys are able to acquire as it is the least that they can do. You're able to acquire a single horse, a cart. The cart can fit easily. Sorry, I have dogs running up and down the stairs.
I hear the buses.
The cart can easily hold up to 8 people in the back. And has enough room for 2 people in the driver's seat. So it only needs 1 driver.
Okay. So I'm driving?
If you'd like.
I mean, if you can.
Can I? How would I roll that?
He doesn't have a license. We know that.
I don't have a license.
don't got
We're
a
not
license.
from we're not from here. How do we have
We're gonna
license?
we're gonna get pulled over.
Well, in that instance, do you have good survival or animal handling?
I have. It would be the number on the right, correct? I have 15 survival, 12 animal handling.
Pretty good.
You know, Vivienne might be slightly better at those.
Really? Let's see.
Cere would have also been quite good at them, but Cere is not in a condition.
You
to
are
drive.
on the ground right now.
So
12 and
so as
12,
long as you
so I
brought
wouldn't give
Vivienne
me-
along, she will happily, you know, she will handle the animals and
Go for it, Viv. You're our only hope.
Help us.
If you both like, you both could be in the driver's seats. Vivienne holding the reins and Samael being there for assistance or helping with direction.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's go.
and in the back, there's enough like room where generally it would be leg room where you guys could have Cere laying down, or if Kiso and Cere, not Cere, if Kiso and Willow wants, they could just give Cere an entire like bench that would be for 4 people, to like
I'd
lay
be
down
okay
on.
with that.
The other
Yeah.
you 2 could be on the other bench.
I'm okay with that.
I'm more than fine with this.
Looks at Kiso.
It's alright with me.
Is there any last minute kind of like things you guys would like to do before leaving? You guys are of course able to pick up Irina.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
You guys don't know when you guys are going to be back here, at least until you guys go to visit Ravenloft.
We're taking Irina.
Gonna be right
Yeah,
back as
no,
I close
I
my
think-
door.
I think we're good right now until we get this
Oh my
situation
God.
handled.
Yeah. We have health potions if we need them. If we like encounter something on the way. Yeah, I think we're okay.
We're all good to go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys go to leave, you guys see a series of figures and faces kind of like look out their windows or outside the church doors to wave you goodbye. You see, of course, Father Lucian alongside the 2 younger children you'd met and befriended. Yeska is having a little bit of teary-eyed seeing you guys go. Probably having the child dreams or thoughts that you guys would stay here in Vallaki for the rest of time.
Yeah, probably.
You'd see, of course, also the innkeepers and family members of the Blue Water Inn wave you goodbye. Sad to see their favorite patrons leave, but hopeful that with your departure that good can be done. You guys have done a lot for Vallaki. You guys had, in
Yeah.
different sort of ways, saved it. See, of course, also the 2 young adults of Victor and Stella holding hands, waving you goodbye. Young love, still yet to prosper.
Wish them
Root
well.
for them. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
rooting for them.
we'll wave back.
Trying to offer a weak wave.
I'll pick up Cere's arm to help her wave.
Thank you.
Nice.
From the driver's seat.
I can lean
Well, I
back.
imagine it's like, yeah, you can lean back slightly. Like, I don't want to have too much space between us.
Just some Princess Bride here.
Indeed, indeed. And so,
You know, the bridge.
the party begins to depart upon the cobbled roads of the Ivalis Road. Sorry, not the Ivalis Road. The Luna River. Or Image. Whoops.
I need to see where we're at. Okay, well, while we're going, can I keep like an eye out in case something like peeks through?
Of course, of course.
All right.
You can hear the squelching sound of mud and the wheels on the wagon. The road seems to come into an X intersection. You've been here, of course, before, with branches to the northwest, northeast, southwest, and south east. The lower half of a snapped wooden signpost thrust upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. The top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in the weeds nearby. You're not exactly sure where Krezk is, however, with assistance from Irina, she's able to tell you it'd just be a little bit west end. We can continue west. Should be fine.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you very much.
All right, southwest. Correct myself.
Sorry again, folks.
You're fine.
I told you you shouldn't make deals with hags.
I knew the risks.
Yes, but
I don't know if you did.
Damn, am I bad at maths?
one would have to say you really put your heart into it, and we can at least appreciate that effort.
I mean,
God damn it.
yeah. You know what? If I had more energy, I would punch you right now.
Well, if you have a hard set on it, once we fix the things, you can.
Willow, please punch her. I beg you.
Very weak punch because I don't have a whole lot of say.
There's a reason she's asking you and not Samael.
I'll keep my eyes open on the road, Vivienne. You just focus on driving. If anything comes up, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, more driving, less
course.
heart-related puns.
No promises.
As you guys passed over the river, the path narrows, flanked by dense, towering trees. Up ahead, you can see an old wooden bridge that you'd cross come into view, its age-worn planks spanning the rushing river below. As you approach, you can see the dark river tumbling over the smooth stones of the riverbed, bordered by either side by gnarled bushes and trees. As you step, or in this case ride over the bridge, the wheels echo against the old damp wood. To the north, you can see the river meander upstream around the tree line, or vanishing around a curve, presumably to the lake. To the south, the river winds like a ribbon between its banks, then gradually vanishes into the mist. Only what you could presume the mountain. As you continue, a dirt path branches off the old Salovich Road, winding its way south up a craggy mountain spur. The earth of the path is hard cracked, its color a pallid gray-brown, reminiscent of old ashes, of cold ashes. The trees on either side stand silent and stoic, their leaves a faded green. As the path winds upward, it eventually is replaced by the deep shadows of the mountain's forested incline, vanishing into the gloom of the woods beyond. This is, of course, not the path you're going. This seems to be another path on the road. You all are going, however, further west, this farther south. You would see a bit in the distance, for those that are sitting in the back, through the edges and the tips of the mist, in the direction of that strange path with the cold ashes. You would see the tips of some form of towers and structures of a sepulchral mansion. Sorry, basically a stone mansion.
That's a tough word.
Yeah.
You'd see towers rising above the surrounding architecture in the distance. Out of the fog comes a distant peal of thunder, quickly accompanied by the howling of wolves in the woods below. But the manor in the distance, as you ride away, stands silent, seeming like the fossilized remains of some long-dead thing smoked on the mountainside. From your conversation with individuals before, you would presume this is not Castle Ravenloft, of course. As the old hunting trail cuts away from the old salvage road here, winding north beyond old gnarled trees before vanishing into the underbrush, 100 yards beyond it, a alpine path splits from the main road to travel south towards the mountains, rising in elevation up until it disappears around a steep tree-covered encampment. Not encampment, encampment.
What an interesting land.
In the image, I see there are like things carved into the trees and stuff hanging. Is that stuff we see?
Yep. It is indeed.
Can I squint at them with the?
You notice that there's more and more of them as you continue to ride on. Some of them seem familiar. You've seen similar things in Hex Point in Brindlevale.
Yeah.
At least in Brindlevale, they were seen kind of as like wards, ward against evil spirits and entities. However, these seemed a little different.
They don't seem magical, do they?
Not as far as you can see.
Irina, do you think we're making good time right now?
I believe so. It only takes about roughly 2 hours to get to Krezk, as far as I'm aware. I've never been there before, though, so hopefully nothing goes wrong.
Hopefully.
As you all continue, you see a weather-worn signpost next to the road. 3 arms on the signpost point along the 3 branches of the road. The arm pointing north reads Krezk. And through the woods, you see an arching stone bridge spanning a river. The arm pointing east reads Vallaki, where you just came from. The road slopes up gradually in that direction. Lastly, the arm pointing southwest reads the Wizard of Wines. The road slope gently downward in that direction. However, you also notice a figure clad in rusty armor stands alone on the bridge, clutching a gleaming longsword in its pale hand. As you approach, the figure is recognizable.
It's the skeleton.
Not a skeleton.
Sorry, the ghoul.
Not a ghoul. This would be the Revenant you guys had met before.
Same guy?
Oh,
The same,
Yeah.
the one and the same.
did we go the wrong way?
Once more,
Unless
you
he
find
patrols.
this bridge revenant leading you upon your path.
It's the cool dude.
Greetings, wanderers. We meet again.
Hail and well met.
What brings you upon this bridge once more.
Once more.
Once more.
Was seeking, well, to find our friend help, and we heard we can find it in the city of Krezk.
Ah. The city of
Did we go in
Krezk.
the right direction?
Yes.
Are we
this
going
is
the
the
wrong
road.
way?
This is the road to Krezk, correct?
It is.
Okay.
The city of Krezk, ruled by the burgomaster of Krezk, Baron Dmitry Kreskov. I must warn, he has grown wary of the outside world. Few things have
Understandable.
passed between Krezk gates in the recent weeks.
Would you happen
Like
to
what?
know why?
I do not
He's grown
know
pep.
fully why. However, I do know that the Kreskov line is long been an honorable one. You might be able to find a way to persuade this Baron to lend you. However, if for the disease or injury you seek for your associate, you seek it in the Abbey of Saint Markovia, I must warn you travel to a dark place, friends. But a being of great age and power indeed dwells there, and it may aid you, if not offended.
Sure, we
So,
can do
be
our
on our
best.
best manners as guests.
Yes.
We mean no trouble either way.
I know you don't, at least not with me.
Do you happen to know what specifically may be of any particular offense to them?
Looks at my notes.
You know, affiliation with any specific faction or tendency towards a specific religion, perhaps?
The Revenant pulls out a notebook.
Hmm.
Or maybe to a
Flipping
specific
through
crow
it.
who likes to make, bread in the shape of people.
Well, years ago, before Strahd von Zerevich arrived in the valley, Saint Markovia, a cleric of the not Morning Lord, the Dawnfather. I am mixing up lore. Built the abbey atop the spurs of Mount Baratuk as a sanctuary for those fleeing from war and devastation. However, when the mists surrounded the valley, Saint Markovia condemned Strahd as a tyrant and raised a small army to march upon Castle Ravenloft. Revolt was put down. However, and Markovia lost her life in single combat with Strahd. With Markovia's death, the monks and nuns of the abbey withdrew in despair. Before long, paranoia and madness infiltrated their reign, till none remained alive. Rumors of cannibalism bounded for decades afterward. Most folk shunned the abbey altogether. However, just over a century ago, the abbot arrived in the valley, reopened the abbey. I am unsure of the abbot's true nature mentioned, but I am confident he is far older, far more powerful than any of us know.
We'll keep that in
Sounds
mind.
interesting.
You said they lost a life in that siege, correct?
Yes, single combat
have-
against Strahd.
Was there anybody notable who died? Or was it just like
Everybody was
a lot of
notable.
people?
Raids, all of which
Ah.
are now dead.
Ah.
Or at least, he looks at his own hand. Undead.
Were you one of them?
I was not. Alas, the Order of the Silver Dragon fell at a different time.
What happened?
For that time sworn not to speak. However, if you do wish to seek these answers, I can point you in the direction. We'll point partially back the way you guys came. On the Luna River crossroads, you will find a trail of ash gray. It splits south from the old Salovich Road shortly before arriving. You will find the manor of Argenvost. There you can find the answers you seek.
Did we pass that?
Yeah, we did
we
pass that
must
little
have, yeah.
offshoot.
It could definitely be something worth checking out later.
I thought I saw a building, but my eyes, I thought, were deceiving me.
Thank you so much for all this information.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Be weary upon the crossroads, friends. The mists watches you.
Sir Knight, do you have a name?
I did
We got
once.
his name previously, didn't we not?
You did not?
Oh, yeah.
At one
Just
time I
feels odd.
did.
So how should we refer to you now?
The night. Honorable enough for me. For that I
Sir Knight
think.
it is, then.
As you all begin to depart, he doesn't turn to look at you. He's still as if given a duty to watch this gate. Not the gate, the bridge. He continues to look forward, but as he does, he speaks again. Last warning. There's a werewolf pack, Mount Baratok. It has expanded its territory. Ferocity. I must advise you to be cautious as you travel these roads.
Thank you.
We shall, Sir Knight. Thank you very much for the warning.
We definitely need to be wary of those. Can't have
Very
another one
much
of
so.
us having an
Yeah.
issue.
We have remove
No.
curse.
We do.
Oh wait, yeah, we do.
In our current state, I don't think we're fighting them. Although we do have better weapons now, but I know I, for one, won't be much use.
Oh,
I
that's
was also
not
taught
true.
the potion thing.
Are
I can think of quite a few uses for you, Cere.
bait?
Cere, like, awkwardly, like, tries to, like, lunge a fist out towards Kiso from where she's, like, laying. Just tries to, like...
You could definitely try to make a strength roll at disadvantage to see if you're able to connect it.
You know what? I'm gonna, because I know I'm not going to hit him.
I was gonna go with
Instead
I was
of,
gonna go with Chew Toy or Squeak Toy.
Alas, I do not believe a 9 will hit those AC.
Cere lunges there, and then after hearing Vivienne's comment, she goes, "All right, this time, Samael, could you please hit her?"
Kiso pretends to take the blow to raise your morale.
As you
Samael
guys,
will lightly flick Vivienne on the shoulder.
as you guys travel further westward and cross the bridge, Willow, you notice it arguably probably first as a Sneagle snowflake lands upon the beak of Kiso. You look around. It slowly feels colder and colder. You look around. Snow.
Kind of looking up at the sky, watching as it starts. I expect that we may be slightly unprepared for the weather here.
Are we dressed warmly sufficiently for some sort of for winter weather by any chance?
Not for
I
extended
do not
stay.
think so.
Well, we better make good time
yeah.
then.
You know, in all the time that they've told us about this town, nobody said snow.
You guys are basically going from areas where it was about probably like 54 degrees Fahrenheit to areas now where it's about like 10 degrees.
I do remember
Celsius.
the
Fahrenheit.
apothecary lady is from here.
12 degrees.
And I do think she did mention, or at least that
Oh,
it
you
was a
mean
little cold. I don't
your
remember fully.
girlfriend?
Shut up, Sam.
I hear werewolves make for great cloaks.
Let's try not to start picking any fights right now.
I really do not want to fight them right now.
You really can't fight them right now.
Oh yeah?
Can you even like cast spells at level 5 exhaustion?
Yes.
I okay, yeah, I thought so. It's
I
just
can
like you're
cast
at literally
spells
a
and
different.
I can command next, but that's all I can do.
Just like laying on a stretcher, like, all right, get him.
Get him next.
I'll wait here.
As you all continue, the road branches north and climbs a rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot-high wall of stone reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin, white wisps of smoke. A somber toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. Steady chime is inviting, a welcome change from the deathly silence, an oppressive fog to which you have grown accustomed. It's hard to tell at this distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that lead up from the walled settlement to the abbey. However, you notice that the gate is closed.
Are there any guards outside of it?
That is a great question. That is a great question.
Can we get a great answer?
As soon as they look at the notes.
And is the gate locked also?
Yes.
Wouldn't know that until we try it. Oh.
You would see some guards that are up on the buttresses call down to you. Halt! State your business and where from.
We're coming from Valaki and we are seeking the Abbey of Saint Markova to see if we can get our friend some help.
Hear the
Not
guards
afflicted with anything.
begin to talk.
He's just grievously injured. Internally.
What from?
A stroke? Her heart. It's really
Heart
bad.
troubles.
While I describe this, can you roll me persuasion below? The air grows colder as can you roll me a persuasion as I read this text for you all?
Yeah, I gotcha.
As you all stand there, the air seems to grow colder as you stand at the walled settlement. The two square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway, to which a pair of 12-foot-tall iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch above the door is the name Krezk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high. Atop the pyramid, you see a total of 4 guards, wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They watch you nervously and talk amongst themselves.
Well, they
You
seem
roll.
nervous.
Father Lucian from Valaki suggested we come here to seek better help.
Just a moment. The guards calls down to you. A moment will pass before you hear the sound of the door opening, not fully enough for a cart to pass through, but enough for a couple guards to exit, followed by what appears to be a man dressed in a mix of furs, finery, and also protection. Greetings, associates of Krezk and of Father Lucian. May I speak with whoever leads this company?
Looks at Vivienne.
That would be me, dear.
You hop off the cart.
Yeah, and she'll give a polite curtsy to show respect.
I don't say this in game, but that's mom. He's in charge.
He will
Probably deal with it.
offer a head nod. Welcome to Krezk, however, I must say on bad timings.
Understandable, but if all things go well, maybe we can bring some salve and balm to those bad times.
I must say I must apologize, for if you wish entry within the gates of my city, as he will introduce himself as Baron Krezkov, I must ask for something in return first.
There's nothing wrong with asking for a favor.
I must beseech that you all seek out Baba Lysaga, perform a scrying spell to discern the location and condition of a particular person.
Baba who?
Lysaga.
Baba Lysaga.
I was taken aback for a moment. I'm like, wait, what? As Willow.
No, fair. You know that Baba's, the title is, Baba itself, the word is a title.
Yeah.
It's generally given to that of an old witch within a given community.
I know that Baba Yaga.
I was gonna
is,
say like the Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga, at least for those from Theranin, you would
Mother
know,
of witches.
is the mother of witches, the oldest and
That's why I was
most
just
eldest of witches.
Oh.
Willow in the back of the cart's ears
And-
just perk up like, what?
Willow goes monkey. I'm
Who shall
kidding.
we have them scry for?
Trying to see if he'd actually tell you.
Sorry for someone, but we're not telling you who.
Yeah,
Um,
for real.
I must confess it is for my missing son. Ilya Krezkov. Sadly disappeared several days ago.
That's horrible.
Mhm.
I'm something of a tracker and hunter myself. Was it from inside the town or outside?
Outside, I'm afraid. Though any tracks you would find, kind of gestures to the snow, well covered
Yeah.
at this point. He'll kind of retrieve from inside his pocket 2 items. Before pausing to look at you, Vivienne. Will you do this thing?
Of course,
You
reunite
know
a
where
child and his
he
father.
is? Like
I
Baba
will
Saga?
absolutely do that.
He will hand to you a few strands of what appears to be dark hair, contained in like a vial. We're also handing over a large gold bracelet inset with intricate carvings of wolves and ravens that you can loosely like appraise. If you were in Theranin, you'd loosely appraise it to 300 gold.
Expensive jewelry.
The hair for the scry spell, of course, and the bracelet for payment for Baba Lysaga. He does not do this for free.
Of course not.
Do you know where we could find
By
her?
chance, could you describe your child for me, just in case, on the off rare chance that we happen to catch sight of him before we get the scrying done?
Young man with dark complexion such as I. For clarification and context, Baron Krezkov is, for lack of better D&D terms, he is black. Which, since your entire journey through Barovia, everybody's been white.
Oh.
Or Vistani.
Mm-hmm.
He has shaved sides on the side of his head. Was young, looking no more than 17 or 18 of age.
Yes, well, thank you for letting me know to give me an idea of what to look out for if we happen to see him beforehand. And this Baba, where might we find her?
The ruins of Berez, not that far off from the route you just traveled. About 8 3/4 from here. About 3 hours journey. All you must do is retrace your steps upon the Luna River, then head south.
That sounds fine to me. I
Basically,
will...
returning back to the crossroad.
Yeah. I'm just trying... So, above table, she's just trying to decide whether or not she'd ask if they will at least accept Cere inside for the time being. But I'm torn because I don't want to leave the player behind.
I would
And by
probably-
themselves.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Above table, I'm fine with that.
Well, so basically how it, and this would be up to saying, is if we leave Cere here, we can just have Cere play Irina, I guess, in the meantime to help out?
I will say if you do ask this, he will decline.
Okay, so we're dragging Cere around regardless. Alright, never mind. That'll work still.
Apologies, you must understand. There's been a large uptick in werewolf. Until I can ascertain your trustworthiness, I cannot endorse.
That is fine by me. You have your people to take care of. Now we will try and go find your son for you. I know it must be killing you to be here right now, rather than out there.
You see, he kind of looks out to the snow-covered forestry and landscape, before nodding his head. Luck, Vivienne, of... He kind of like asks in question.
You can call me Vivienne of the Ophan's Court.
Vivienne of the Olfan's his head. You'll then go back inside the gates of Krezk. Guards following soon after him, or the slow shut gate.
Another lost child. This land
Coming
steals
quite-
much from people.
It's a recurring theme, certainly.
Yeah,
It
I was gonna
is
say,
quite
those
odd.
children.
Oh,
seem to be the
children-related
child
quests.
finders.
It
The
seems
bringers
common in
of-
this land that innocence is stolen in one form or another.
Bringers of family. Maybe we should have a team name.
No.
Alright, fine, Buzzkill. Let me have this.
Take it easy, Samael. Let Cere
Look,
have at least somewhat of a good time.
she really put her heart into that name.
I'm
You
going
already
to
used
kill you.
you already used that one. Already used that one, by the way.
You did. So, Vivienne, are you some kind of nobility?
Indeed,
But
you mentioned
no.
court.
Title you gave was quite.
No, it is something from my past, but it is not something that applies anymore.
I see.
Will we ever hear more about your past?
I'm sure in time, Samael.
I don't see why not. We have 3 hours to go along the roads. What would you like to hear?
I'm a bit curious, so anything really?
I mean, what is the Alphonse court? Or who it
It
is
sounds fancy.
Alphonse?
Theophon. Theophon was a lord that I served for a while.
I see.
He was someone I was a hunter and tracker for that provided shelter for me for a while.
Understandable.
It was an exhilarating time when I was younger, but exciting times when you're young are, well, you can make foolish mistakes from time to time.
That's true.
But it is not an experience that I regret, and it propelled me forward to greater joys and experiences than I'd thought possible. But I will admit there was some heartbreak in there, and even some nights where even I cried. But it's been a long time since I've done that.
As you guys return back to the bridge, you find the revenant that was there no longer there.
Maybe he does do patrolling.
Maybe he's at the other bridge.
Maybe.
Mayhap.
Keep
That
your
was quite
ears
quick,
out
though.
for keep your ears out for werewolves, of course.
Of course.
Maybe he's on break. Like a lunch
So-
break.
Willow, you seem to perk up upon hearing that name. What's the significance of it?
You
Well,
don't
I'm
know?
not familiar with Babala Saga per se, but the term Baba is for very old, very wise and powerful witches. I had to hear him say it again because Ray, the player, mistook him saying Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is the mother of witches. She's a very powerful witch.
So, best manners when we talk to her, then, I imagine.
Yes, most likely.
I think it's perhaps Willow's time to shine in that conversation.
Well,
I wouldn't
maybe.
dream of taking it from her.
Not to nominate you, but I'm nominating you. I feel like you might be the best one for it.
It's likely the equivalent of speaking to someone of very high importance to you. So I'd be a little nervous, but I can likely take over for that. Yeah.
Another
I
hour of
like
travel.
be the most endearing.
You guys are able to return once more to the Luna River crossroad.
And they said follow it south from here, correct?
I believe so.
Rena would nod her head. I don't know much of Lorez, than that it was once a establishment. A small town, though something happened.
I imagine we'll find out somewhere along the way.
Most likely.
As you all leave the crossroads behind you, you set a southern course along the Luna River, whose waters reflect only the gray of the sky above as it winds its way through the valley.
Is there a description for it?
Yes. Though the trees of the Salvage Wood close inoppressively on either side to start, it's not long before the forest's edge pulls away from the river and the road, revealing a tributary that spills into the river from the mountains. The Luna River here encircles a small, forlorn isle dotted with tall evergreen trees, which stand like silent sentinels. The river flows around them. Not far from the road, upon a small peninsula that shoots out into the river, stands a mossy stone slab, standing just under 6 feet in height. It rests on an old, cracked stone circle. It seems to bear some kind of carving. Willow, this strange stone figurine of architecture reminds you of the one similar to that near a bone grinder.
Oh. Does it have different carvings on it, or is it the same?
You ask Vivienne and Samuel to stop the cart to go check it.
If they don't mind.
As you hop off the cart, you feel your hand where the tattoo is kind of like pulsate a little bit. Almost like the veins inside tighten in it.
I pull back my sleeve a bit. Is there anything happening with it?
No. It almost just seems to be almost like either reacting or noticing what you're nearby.
Mm.
As you approach the slab, you'd find that it bears a carving of a spider over an engraved 3-pointed star. The grooves lined with lichen and moss.
Try to figure out what to do here. I'm just like, an Arcana check likely wouldn't do anything. Would it?
One more time?
An Arcana check likely wouldn't be useful here, would it? Or
Unlikely. This is what you presume to be very old magic, and on top of that, these are practices and beliefs that you do not know.
I was never taught, yeah. I'm trying to recall, was there anything that the Huntress mentioned about this?
No, the Huntress did mention that
Okay.
that she did have sisters.
So I think it's probably safe to assume that this was something for one of her sisters.
Could be.
Yeah. Is it just like the slab, or is there like ruins?
Yep, it's just the stone architecture. It seems a little bit more dilapidated than that of the one by Old Bone Grinder. You don't see any signs of like ravens flying around it or anything of note. Matter of fact, you have seen less and less ravens as you've gone south.
I see.
You decide to hop back in the cart.
Before I do, I think just kind of like out of a bit of respect, I like just clean up the slab a little bit. As best as I even can with this old thing. And yeah, I then go hop back in the cart.
I got it.
And anything out there, Willow, or
I'm sorry?
you find anything out there?
Yeah, what did you see?
It was a slab sort of similar to the ones back at the old bone grinder windmill that we were at. However, this one was slightly different. You remember that the Huntress said she had sisters, so I suspect this is probably something in dedication to one of them, maybe? I'm not really sure, but it had a different symbol on it. You said it was a spider on a 5-pointed star?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, 3-pointed star.
Oh, 3-pointed star.
I will mention you did see a 3-pointed star on the other one. One might surmise that the 3-pointed star might be the symbol of the three
The three of
sisters.
them. Yeah. And remind me again, what was along with the 3-pointed star on the first one?
All right, now you're asking harder question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just have to go back on my notes.
I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if I wrote it down, honestly, actually. So that's why I ask.
You're good. You're good.
While you go back and look for that, I'm gonna go step away to use the restroom real quick.
No worries.
Yeah.
I'm back. My bad. What happened?
Nothing yet.
You would notice that on the other one, it appears that there were not that many symbols, period. You did not see any.
Just the 3-pointed star.
Yes, you also never actually really went that close to the one by Old Bone Grinder, the megaliths.
You're right. Well, next time we're near it, I will go check it out then.
It did seem that there was like a large amount of fog there.
Ready?
So Willow hops back on the cart. With a little bit of a jolt from the reins. Samael and Vivienne are able to get the cart back to move. Ahead of you, wind spurs of Mountain Gakis rise on either side of the road, enclosing it in a valley choked with fog. The mists hang thick in the air here, muffling every sound and glimmer of light as the road grows muddy and wet. Soon, as the fog swallows up the road behind you, it pulls back like a curtain to reveal a tall, gnarled tree, ancient in years, thrusting up from the mist like a hunched-over obelisk. Rusted metal cages hang from its dead limbs, and strands of old spider webs cling to its trunk like gossamer veils. An enormous bird, crafted of burlap, wood, and animal skin, sits atop the thickest branch, its gourd-shaped head peering at you with coal-black eyes. With a long, grating screech, it spreads its wings and takes to the air, the mist swirling about its creaking wings as it heads southward. This appears, though it has been a long time since you've seen one, as one of the large crafted construct avian creatures you had fought before, many days ago.
We want to avoid those, maybe, unless you think we could take them if we encounter them. Looks at everyone.
I think we should probably avoid them right now. We want to trying to minimize the chances of somebody else getting hurt or worse.
And so, you all continue. As you approach the ruins of Berez,
The ruin. What the?
I hate it.
This is my kind of place.
It's spooky.
I had to zoom in. Why is that thing under the house moving?
A great question, is it not? A great question you have.
Samael doesn't know anything about witches' huts.
The dirt and grass soon turn to marsh as the ground dissolves into spongy earth, pockmarked with stands of tall... Oh, I need to turn that down a little bit. That is too loud.
Yeah, it's a little loud.
If you go to use your volume controls, you can lower environment. Could help.
Yeah, I put it to 20 and it seems fine now.
There you go. The smudgy earth pockmarked with stands of tall reeds and pools of stagnant water. A thick shroud of fog covers all, though the fog is much thinner on the far side of the river, where a dark ring of standing stones stands amidst a copse of gnarled trees covered in thick, bluish webs. As you all travel, there are moments even where each of you have to smack a mosquito that tries to perch itself on one of your limbs.
Quite foggy.
Oh, I hate this place.
Well, quite lovely.
For you, the trail splits to form two soggy paths that ring a central swampy green. One path runs along the swollen river, where the others curl inlands. Why I struggled it. Scattered through the marsh alongside the path are old peasant cottages, their walls covered with black mildew, and their roofs mostly caved in. These decrepit dwellings seem to hunker down in the mire, as though they have long since given up on escaping the thick mud. Everywhere you look, black clouds of flies dart about, hungry for blood. Two old scarecrows lashed to wooden posts flank the trail here, their burlap faces seeming to leer into the mist behind you.
Unsettling.
I really don't like this place.
Understandable. But I'm assuming we can easily find the Baba here, and we can, well, take care of what we need to.
And as soon as we do that, we can get out of here.
Agreed. I would recommend we do that pronto.
As you all continue, a light flashes amid the fog beyond the scarecrows. A woman's silhouette emerging from the swirling mist. Presumably, you all stop the cart.
Up to Vivienne and Sam, I think.
Yeah, Vivienne would.
Makes sense.
She's not gonna just try and run over someone who randomly appears.
A brief moment. This is out of roleplay talk. I'm realizing I do not have an image for this NPC. This is not Baba Lysaga, to clarify. But I am now realizing I don't have an image for this person.
Dun, dun,
Should we
dun.
maybe take a break
Panic.
while you look for one?
Sure, we can take a break if everyone needs to go grab some food, grab some drink, go use your restroom, whatever have you.
Sure, sounds like a good idea.
I'll be right back.
Be right back, chat. Don't you go anywhere. Order.
He's eating Wendy's without us.
Gonna wait for the
Hi.
engine to load back up, but welcome back for breaks, everybody.
Welcome back.
So,
Ordering stuff to make my own charcuterie board tomorrow.
standing before you all, see a woman of olive skin complexion, long dark black hair, what probably was at one point a very nice a dark green dress, however, has at this time been partially torn and muddied by the terrain around you. You would see a woman introduce herself as Wincentia.
Oh no.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh no.
He's fine as well.
Yes. Maybe Samael will move on from the.
Greetings,
To the new note for the week.
wanderers. Mother Lysaga has summoned you all to a cottage. Been asked to make sure you all follow me. If you wish, of course, to reach there safely.
Absolutely. Would you like to ride with us, or do you need to guide from ahead?
You see her turn swiftly, not answering, and continue to walk barefoot in the mud.
Take that as a no.
Vivienne will just coax them along to follow safely behind her.
He does indeed look cool.
She's probably her apprentice or something.
Either way, everyone on your best manners.
But of
We are
course.
guests here.
There's one thing I learned back home is always be nice to the witches. Right, Willow? She says with a smile.
Oh, I'm hardly worried about you, dear.
Wait.
I'm not there yet. I'm not on her level whatsoever.
I
Though
look back
someday
at
I wish.
Kiso. Kiso, don't say anything that'll get us killed.
If the bird says anything stupid, we offer him as a sacrifice, right?
Oh my goodness.
As she walks, you hear her call out, without again looking towards you all. None come to Berez to seek Mother Lysaga's favor, and that Abba Lysaga alone will determine if you are worthy to earn it.
Fair.
That is
That
her
makes-
prerogative.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you all continue, you would see someone has built a ramshackle wooden hut on a stump of what was once an enormous tree. The rotting roots of the stump thrust up from the mire like the legs of a gigantic spider.
A lovely house. Willow says genuinely.
Cere gives her a look like, what the hell?
An open doorway is visible on one side of the hut, beneath which floats the upside-down, hollowed-out skull of a giant.
Whoa.
Flanking the hut's doorways are two iron cages that dangle like hideous ornaments from the eaves. Scores of ravens are trapped in each one. However, you only hear the muffled sounds of raven squawks.
That explains the lack of birds.
Additionally, you see the giant construct creature you saw before seems to have roosted and perched atop the hut, silently watching you all as you all approach.
Okay. I see.
Also, I need Samael to make a performance check.
For what?
Oh no. We're all
What am I
doomed.
doing?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be nat 20.
16.
All right. As the witch before you, Insentia, he stops.
Oh.
Mother Lysaga, I bring the adventurers as you requested. You see she then turns to depart, however, before stopping to look at Samael and smirking, or continuing to walk away.
Willow will then smirk and nudge Sam.
If you must know, the
Back.
performance check was to keep your composure on your opinion on her.
Okay.
Yep. If the door's open, Vastra's gonna no. Vivienne's gonna go in.
Vestra.
Before you go in,
Yeah.
you would hear a very soft sound of what appears to be someone singing a lullaby. Do you enter in?
Samael's head will swing to Willow real quick and be like, as if giving the face of like, do you know this?
I was gonna say, would it be something familiar to me?
Roll a history check.
I got you. Maybe. Let's see.
Since Vivienne's been a mother, I guess I'll roll a history check too, if that's all right.
Sure, go
Oh,
for
that
it.
was almost a nat 20.
That is a 2 though on the die.
Christ. Oh,
Sweet,
Maybe
double
it's-
2.
maybe it's Barovian, so it's probably nothing we're familiar with. Strahd.
The lullaby goes as follows. I must preface, however, I am not a singer, so apologies if it does not sound the best.
I believe in you.
Yes, sing it to us.
Sing it, Birdie.
Don't
Tilly
make,
tilly
don't make them
bum.
nervous.
Quickly come your eyes now. The night mother walks outside and knocks on the window. Tilly tilly bum. The bite birds are chirping. She is inside the house to visit those who can't sleep. She walks, she's coming closer. Tilly tilly bum. You hear her closing in, looking around the corner, staring right at you. Tilly bum, tilly bum. The silent night hides everything. She sneaks up behind you, and she's going to get you. She walks, she's coming closer.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been something my mother would have sang to me.
It sounds more like a threat than a song.
This does indeed sound like a threat.
That did sound like a threat.
It's not the
Let's not
strangest
take
one
it
I've
as
ever
one,
heard.
though. Not
However,
the strangest one, but yeah.
presumably, Vivienne, you are leading the way to open the door, yes?
Yes.
As you enter in, you would notice a series of things. For one, you would find a woman, an older woman, hunched over partially next to a crib, softly rocking it back and forth. Even as you enter in, you see the woman, presumably Baba Lysaga, doesn't stop as you enter. She continues for what appears to be another minute, singing the lullaby.
As she enters, Vivienne will give a polite curtsy, then just stand off to the side and wait to be acknowledged.
As she continues, you all are able to enter in and kind of look around the hut that you now stand within. If oh,
Samael, could you carry me? I don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Thank you. I'm just like crutching on Samael, just like leaning on him.
Mhm.
Okay.
Within this hut, it stands 15 feet tall on a side and packed with old furniture, including a wooden cot, a wicker cabinet, a slender wardrobe, and a wooden table, a stool, and a barrel-topped wooden chest reinforced with brass bands, and an iron tub stained with blood. In the middle of the room is a ghastly wooden crib with a small, angelic child sitting in it. All the furnishings, except for the crib, are bolted to the floor. Beneath the crib, green light seeps up through the cracks between the rotting floorboard. See then, the woman turned to face you, revealing her face.
Oh, hell yeah, I spelled it right. I wasn't sure how to spell her name in the notes, and this whole time it was spell it right.
Greetings. What brings you six here today? This evening.
Good evening. We are here on the behalf of Baron Krezk. He's seeking your services to find his son.
I see. However, I must ask of you certain tidings to earn the right assistance. I ordain, but only one of you must first pluck a feather from Raven's side and lay it in Strahd's crib here. She gestures towards the crib beside her. An offering.
Whose?
Are you asking this in character or are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Okay. She said Strahd's.
Okay.
What?
Willow is taken aback by that. A bit confused. I can do it if you guys want me to.
I have no objections.
That might be for the best.
I go out and find one of the cages to get a feather.
You go over to the cages and you see a series. The birds seem like very panicked and like worried as you approach, calling at you softly.
Can I attempt to maybe like soothe them to have them calm? Not the best with animal handling, but I could try. Oh,
Easy
enough.
Nice.
You're able to calm one down enough to come near the edges, and you're suddenly able to pluck a feather from it without it realizing it.
My friend, I need to borrow this for a moment.
You then, I presume, return back to the hut.
Yes.
You lay the feather down inside the crib.
I do as instructed.
All right. An investigation check.
Okay. Good thing I'm really good at that.
Pretty good. As you lay down the feather into the crib, you're able to see the baby inside bundled up in a blanket. However, you notice that the feather partially lands on the baby's form, but does not land on it. It partially passes through it.
Oh.
This is an illusion. There is no baby actually within the crib. You must understand. The ravens are said to be servants of prophecy. That fate of a royal child should be exalted above all others. You see, as you place the feather, not only does it pass through the child, but even through the crib itself, floor of the hut. However, you see Mother Lysaga pays it no mind. She turns back to face all of you.
I will, out of respect, not react in like a super startled way. Like she is definitely like intrigued and confused for sure, but she just, does whatever she is asked of and returns to the group.
Then smiles. What brings you six here? Of what do you seek? Of Baba Lysa?
A scrying spell to find a child.
Yes.
Have the payment. Something of their belonging.
Vivienne will go ahead and produce the hair and the payment.
She will accept the bracelet as payment for a single scrying spell. What's another thing for scryings? I will need one of you, or be it need more. You traveled to the goat pen, just outside the old ruin. She kind of gestures out one of her windows, and you see a very old, dilapidated mansion a little further out. Fetch a single live goat. Need the blood of the live goat to create a medium. Perform this scrying.
I feel like,
I can do that if you want.
yeah, someone who has maybe good.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Sounds
I'll
like a
just have
task
to
for
leave Cere
Samael.
here.
Samael, I'll go with you. No sense in going alone.
That's
Alrighty.
probably for the best. I'll lean on Willow. I try and lean
Yeah.
on Willow.
Yeah, no, you're not heavy so much for me to like not be able to support you. I'm not frail.
Yeah, Cere's pretty frail. So
You're
Cere's
more of the
probably-
frail one in this moment.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Is that what you're telling her?
I'm sure.
No, I'm telling Willow and
go get
Cere
it
that
now.
we'll be right back.
Safe travels.
If anyone can capture a goat, I believe it could be one of them.
I have faith in both of them.
One can hope.
As long as it's not a fake goat. Or a false goat.
Oh god.
As Samael and Vivienne, is it just the two of you that are going?
Yeah.
As you all approach toward the southern end of the village, see the remains of a mansion built on higher ground. It has been reduced to piles of stone and rotting lumber. Empty and arched windows stare at you, south of the roof. Untamed garden runs rampant, surrounded by broken walls that are no longer able to contain it. East of the ruin, someone has erected a crude wooden fence, forming a circular yard in which several goats are penned. Surmounting the fence posts are human skulls.
It's not very inviting.
I don't think it's meant to be, dear.
Do you enter into the mansion itself proper, or do you enter into the fenced-in pen?
I imagine we go for the fenced-in pens wherever the goats are at.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See a series of the goats look around, confused. You see one of them looks at you, Samael, and just screams.
Well,
As goats do.
I will need a combined animal handling check to see if the both of you can capture one goat. I will mention, however, if you do crit fail, one of them is going to headbutt you.
oh.
27. You notice also as you are here that there are 9 goats within this captivity. Additionally, to make this fenced-in area a total of, as you count into a head count, literally, there's a total of 50 human skulls that are mounted on the tops of the fence post.
Human skulls and 9 goats.
Completely unrelated
If I had to
their
guess, I would say I
situation.
think we know what happened to the inhabitants of this area. That might be presumptive of me.
Yeah, let's try and not add on to those.
Yes, you'd be terrible decoration.
I know, could you imagine?
Not even getting your best pod.
What would that be?
The wings, dear.
Oh, let's not bring that up. I fear what some people would do with that type of knowledge.
Nothing good, I imagine.
As you are able to wrangle up and capture one of the goats, do you use like a rope to tie around its neck to lead it, or do you carry it?
I'd say we carry it.
Yeah,
Vivienne carrying it, or is Samael carrying the goat?
I'll carry it.
As Kiso, Willow, and Cere see the other two return, they would see Samael holding a goat, and Samael's hair is now on one side lifted just purely up, as the goat has begun to lick and chew Samael's hair.
Sorry, what kind of chuckle at seeing that?
Really quick, Len.
Hmm.
Considering some of the things that I've seen within her hut, would I be able to discern what type of witch she is?
Sure, go for it. Roll me a Arcana check at advantage. All right, with a 23,
Oh, my kind.
you're able to discern that she must practice 2 forms of magic. One of which you are not surprised by. You've seen many of these kinds of witches in your past. Green magic.
Oh, of course, yeah.
However, the second form of magic is a little bit more on the unnerving side. It appears
I had a feeling.
she also practices black magic.
I thought so. That makes sense. It's kind of a life and death kind of vibe going on here.
Yes. The
Makes sense.
practice of black magic is kind of sort of
Very
banned
taboo.
within your culture and your group.
Yeah.
However, she nonetheless still practices.
I'm just being very like observant of everything around me, with interest, rather than any kind of judgment necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't really judge her that much. Considering this weird realm that we're in, it kind of makes sense.
Fair enough. You'd see there's multiple different like oddities and things all within this hut. You'd also see that there's a wooden chest, as mentioned prior, that some ring locks on it. There'd also be a brief moment that you swear you saw the chest shudder and move. But you hear no sounds.
I'll just notate that and keep that to myself for the moment.
Fair enough. But as Samael and Vivienne return, you would see that I forgot to mention a thing. It's more of just like a lore detail. To enter the actual gated area for the goat, Babalai Saga would have told you that you must say a magic phrase, passphrase, to open the gate. And passphrase would be "Death to Ravnovia."
Interesting.
What up?
So we've been told, so we did say.
Yes. More of just like a, hey, this was a thing. As you all bring her back, she retrieves a rusted, blood-stained dagger from her wicker cabinet and directs the both of you to orient the goat so such that the neck is above the bathtub.
Somehow I will look at Vivienne. Would you like to hold the head or the body?
I'll hold the head, dear.
Alrighty.
I will mention for Willow, I mentioned two things. One, you notice this before you can react. And you cannot react before what the next thing she does is. But you do notice a series of other things with your prior Arcana roll. One,
Okay.
there are a series of alchemical items all throughout this hut. Secondly, there are a series of instruments and items you can identify of what their practice might be and their use might be. One such thing is transmogrification. With a swift and seamlessly practiced ease, Babalai Saga slits the goat's throat. A sudden gush of blood spills into the tub, filling it with a deep, visceral red. The goat's body tenses, then relaxes. Its death, mercifully quick, as the hut fills with a metallic tang of fresh blood. You can dispose of the body, the grass outside the... He instructs Samael and Vivienne.
Yep.
I think when
As
that
ordered.
realization does click, and you know the whole swiftness of the kill, Willow just like a small gasp. She's just very startled by the realization she just had.
See Babalai Saga as the other two leave the hut, looks up to you, Willow, and smiles. A knowing smile from one witch to another.
Yeah. I give a slight nod.
Willow, you're able to, if it was not precedent before, you're able to ascertain that the goats are more than likely not goats.
They're very likely probably the people who used to live here.
Oh shit.
What the fuck?
Transmogrification, or, polymorph.
Oh, so hold on. The 55 skulls were the people, and there's only 9 fucking goats. There was only 9 goats left. What the fuck?
I mean, you had a good assumption of it being the people who used to be here, just in a more literal way.
There's only 8 left. How many times has this been done?
And so, Vivienne and Semiel dispose of the body outside the hut as instructed. Unless you, of course, do anything different.
No.
I'll mention, of course, this knowledge is only something that Willow knows at this time.
Yeah, I don't.
No. It was all above table. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I don't
gotcha.
say a peep at all until we are out of here.
With the dripping dagger clutched in her hand, she turns to Willow and the rest of you. Speak not a word. While I am within the grasp of the spell, lest disturb my focus. She then begins to trace the strange arcane symbols across the surface of the goat's blood with the other, her fingers leaving trails of eerie, shimmering magic. She works. The light in the room dims as the shadows grow darker, the air stilled by an eerie silence broken only by the witch's murmuring incantations. Willow, you can identify this as blood magic.
Oh, yeah.
Magic
Sounds about
seeps from her fingertips, flowing like water into the tub of blood. Gradually, the crimson pool begins to ripple and churn, shimmering with silvery light, then abruptly stills, now as smooth and reflective as a mirror. Baba Lysaga leans forward to peer into the pool, her eyes flickering with a gleam of interest and cruelty. See a boy, she hisses. Adolescent, shaggy-haired, and claw-scarred. Her voice is a mixture of intrigue and of mockery. She licks her lips in obvious amusement as she watches him. They have collared him with silver and chained him to a post. There he sits, huddled and pathetic. His eyes, they are hidden, buried in his knees as he snivels and sobs. She frowns as if concentrating, and her voice drops to a rasping whisper. Post is in a cavern, a dismal chamber lit by a flickering torch. There is a woman chained beside him, sharp-eyed with long, shaggy hair. I smell the gift of the Mother Night on her. Nearby I see a statue of a woman, wolf-headed, an idol to Mother Night, adorned in garlands and surrounded by a bouquet of treasure. Rotting corpses kneel before her, to her majesty. Lyaga's fingers twitch. The blood returns to its previous state, rippling faintly as the magic dissipates. She then turns to you. You have asked, so I have given.
Thank you.
Very much.
I cannot say where cavern is located. Noting. She notes scornfully. The scrying spell observes only creatures' immediate surroundings. Rescue the boy. Find the cave under.
We do very much appreciate your time and assistance with this.
Of course, dear Willow.
Give my name. So I'm not surprised whatsoever that she somehow knows it.
Of course. I suppose we will be on our way. By your leave, of course.
She nods her head.
And Vivienne will just turn to leave.
Yes. We will head on our way.
As you all leave and begin to hop back onto the cart, Samael, you notice that on your seat, on the cart, you find a letter. Enclosed and sealed with, by looks, a lipstick stained kiss mark.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll open it.
You find a letter within, and as you all begin to leave the hut, re-enter the ruins of Berez, and later and then leave Berez, Willow and Kiso, you both turn to look at the hut, where there was once a corpse of a goat. Now lies the dead body of a man.
Yeah.
Throat
Got a
slit,
feeling.
eyes staring blankly back at you all.
Once we're far away enough, it's as if Willow was practically holding her breath that whole time, and she just like lets out this huge ass sigh of relief.
He's
She
in
was
the
a
bag,
lot more
by the way, now.
intimidating than I thought she would be.
He is not in the bag, as you notice as you guys are already leaving.
Oh. Well, can I take him?
Do you want
He's
to
already
attempt
far.
He
that?
would not
Don't attempt that.
Is it too far? Is he too far
grab
away?
Kiso by
I
the
mean,
collar.
the cart was a decent distance away from the cart.
Vivienne would have made sure he did not have time to do this.
Vivienne,
Yeah.
double down on speed.
Once we're far away enough as well, I kind of pipe up and I'm just like, had an odd combination of magic though. One is very, very common, and the other extremely taboo for my society.
I didn't even see a single bit of tea.
Not all witches are tea witches.
Unfortunately.
Part of me
He
a little
was-
curious, though. What was the whole thing with the feather?
Not even sure, honestly. Though that crib and that baby was an illusion. Maybe it was some kind of test? I'm not 100% sure.
She
the
did call that crib Strahd, right?
yes, that's what I find odd, though it doesn't surprise me that she's likely either in league with him or have some kind of respect for him, as she practices black magic, which is death magic, shadow magic, whatever you may. She also practices green magic though, which also kind of makes sense. It could have been something she had before she got older, maybe, and got into other practices later on. Sometimes that happens.
Something else of note, that
Yeah.
because you rolled so high on your Arcana roll,
Yeah.
some of the ingredients you would find there, and also knowledge now of that there are presumably human goats. You can surmise that Babalai Saga has been making potions of longevity,
I see.
which is probably in where the black magic resides.
That makes sense.
One of the ingredients is that of mortal blood.
Now, what are potions of longevity?
It increases your lifespan.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
There's a
also
good chance she's much
sorry.
older than she looks.
oh yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Probably the other one too. So in reality, still a no.
But I do make a note to mention that there are some things that she has in her hut that allow the ability of transmogrification, and those goats were not proper goats.
Oh.
No, I think all the skulls along the fences that held them in made that quite clear.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had that kind of, bad whole feeling around it.
That would have been the 51st, by the way, that we brought to slaughter.
My goodness.
Are you telling
I-
me that Samael is responsible
No.
for
No. It's not his burden
Yes
to bear.
and no, but
I confess I'm playing a sick joke.
Hmm.
no, you're just stating a truth. An
Yeah.
unpleasant truth, but one that we had to accept.
And you would have never known until, you either saw the body or I told you.
Indeed.
We'll
So
say
it isn't a good thing to be a part of.
no.
Samael, you'd asked what was inside the letter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You'd find a little hastily written note stating along the line of, I would love to speak in private with you, boy.
What?
You all but just need to find me in the woods. Find a large gnarled tree and knock 3 times.
Like peering over Samael's shoulder, like, ooh,
I'd also try and peer over just to try and read.
you can't get up.
I can, I
Samael-
just can't move.
Samael will turn around.
I
and
relay
see you all
the
peering.
things that are on the note to Cere.
Thank you, I'm trying.
Hey, this
Oh,
is
put-
my letter.
Our
I
letter
think
now.
we have wolves we have to track down.
Yeah.
I was
We
really
do.
worried that was gonna be the case.
Samael will reach into his pocket and grab his raven feather and ask Willow, do you think this would have made any difference if you would have presented it?
I think you losing that might not be the best decision. So I think what I did was probably better.
I must admit, green magic tends to lean towards what, life?
Yes. Usually. So she's a bit of a mix of life and death, it seems. Which,
A balance, maybe.
yeah. Though I don't agree with some of her methods, she is an elder, and so therefore that invokes my respect to her, but,
Bit of pain aches in your heart, Willow, as you realize a second thing.
Huh.
Those ravens inside those bird kens. Were those just ravens?
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
You're right. Oh, no. Now I feel bad. At least I didn't kill it, though.
This is
That
true.
thing was looming over you.
Yes, and the death of a man is looming over you.
No, I mean like that huge bird thing. Wasn't it like watching over
The
all of those
construct.
also?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was on the roof, I believe.
What was that thing anyway?
It could
Seen
have
it
been
before.
her familiar.
I was gonna say, did it look like the things we'd seen in the past?
Yes.
I sort of like reached and pull out the broken thing I kept. The little the Strix.
Looks of similar
Yes.
make. It looks like one of the larger ones.
Wait, do you think she made that?
Most likely. Or
If
summoned
it's
it.
guarding her, likely.
Why would it have
Um,
attacked us before then?
I mean, we were unfamiliar before in these woods.
Do we attack things that are unfamiliar? Do they attack things that are unfamiliar? I don't know.
Needless
It
to
wouldn't
say,
shock
she
me
likely
if they
controls
did.
them.
As you guys return back to you were able to call up to the guards. Asked to speak with Baron Krezk once more. At this point, the sun has begun to set, as it is becoming nighttime. You're able to, of course, share with Baron Krezk the information ascertained, at which point he will open the gates to Krezk. We'll first show you guys the art of what Krezk looks like.
Yeah.
Not Krezk, but Krezk.
Let's see.
And him too.
I do not have art of him,
Oh, okay. That's okay.
or just because I
Oh.
want to use something other than just the book art.
Yeah, the default one, yeah. Is...
I got you. This place is kind of nice.
What a
I think
quaint
we'll
little
have the
town.
cozy vibes. I love it.
Yeah, it's a cozy vibe.
You'd see also, as you guys are...
Above.
Yes?
I was just gonna say above table match no diffs that house.
As you guys are traveling, you'd also notice that there is a...
Oh. What
Is there a person there? Is he supposed to be there?
That is a statue.
Oh.
A little gazebo.
Oh, gazebo.
That I can fit in.
Oh.
Ooh.
You guys are now able to access the map of... I do not have any fancy stylization, sadly, for this one. It is what it is. Cool, however.
As soon as we get the party token out, we can all see.
Oh,
We
shit.
are
Yeah.
blind, unfortunately.
Well, don't worry. I'm gonna do some extra also.
It's a dark. The darkness of Krezk.
Hello, darkness, my friend.
A moment.
I gotta go find this tree, dog.
Yeah, you do. Be careful she doesn't hex you, though.
I was wondering that too.
Oh, wait, would I have been able to... I mean, I could probably assume that she also does black magic. The witch apprentice, question mark?
It is good assumption that she is
Let's
Lady Lysaga's apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very likely green and black magic, or one or the other.
Which is cool, but also scary.
We like them
I-
dangerous, though.
I put my hand on Semia's shoulder. I'm like, she may be beautiful, and she probably is good, but just be careful.
like most women.
Black magic is quite dangerous.
Yeah.
So
I don't
try not
really
to do
have
anything to
much,
upset her.
Yeah, I don't really have much experience in any of that, so it'll be a lot of, treading
That's what I'm
lightly.
telling you.
Gazebo, by the way, you guys saw was...
By the little pond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a nice little town.
As you guys are welcomed back into the proper of Krezk, Baron Krezkov is more than happy to share information with you all if you so ask. However, with the addition that the mist-shrouded village beyond the wall is nothing more than a scattering of whole wooden cottages along the dirt roads that stretch between stands of snow-dusted pine trees. So many trees, in fact, as to constitute a forest. To the northeast, gray cliffs rise sharply, and the road winding up to the abbey is easy to see from this view.
Lovely town.
Vivienne will ask about potential locations of the werewolf pack if they have any ideas of where that cave might be at.
That too.
Mountains northward, woods. Well, in fact,
I
Um,
have
Oh, John.
Which
silver
was-
equipment.
which prison?
We are equipped with silvered weapons.
He'll then smile
Yes.
and laugh softly. I'm afraid you six are ill-equipped for such cold.
This is true.
Yeah.
You raise a good point.
And if you would help us be equipped for such things, I have no qualms going hunting for you.
You have general store. Kind of looks around and the time, looking at
I
the
know.
light.
Not tonight.
It is a little late.
Yes.
He begins to like walk you guys to a tavern. Presumably, you guys don't want to go straight to the abbey, unless if you want to go straight to
No.
the abbey, he will let you guys go there.
I think we could rest up a bit. We traveled
I
quite
think
far.
rest would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that instance, as he's walking you guys to the tavern, he will read, not read, but say, I'm reading, he's saying.
As he pulls out a little piece of paper.
Yeah, residents never really leave the village for fear of being attacked by the wolves, dire wolves.
Understandable.
However, about once a month, a wagon load of wine generally arrives from Wizarding Winery and Vineyard to the south. Business owned by and operated by the Clement Martikov family. Not heard from them.
That is an issue we will actually be looking into sometime soon, as the tavern in, I almost said Krezk, Valaki also hasn't heard anything.
Nods his head.
They asked us to check it out and see if we could, make sure they were okay.
A son, Ilya. You must understand the need of swift haste. He
It's
is
very understandable.
my last child. The other three did not make it.
That is unfortunate.
My condolences.
Loss of a child can be very painful.
He sighs a bit solemnly. Pool at the north end of the village provides fresh water throughout the year. If you need to drink, you can find it there. I do recommend. Next to the pool, the village ancestors built a shrine to the Lord of the Sun. It's known as the Shrine of the Wolf. The Abbey of St. Markovia, named after the priest, took a stand against the devils. After a fierce uprising, Markovia and her most loyal followers stormed Ravenloft. Sadly to be. The Abbey, the hospital, and convent fell on hard times after the land followed up. Some of the clergy fell prey to Strahd, while others went mad and either starved themselves to death or turned to camp. If you seek to still visit the Abbey, you will find that it is headed by a man simply known as the Abbot. He arrived over a century ago. Aged a day since. Occasionally will
Interesting.
visit the shrine, the Whites. Doesn't talk much. Demands tribute in the form of wine. No one knows his true name or where he came from. I believe he is Broad's Min. None of us from the village visit. The Abbey's bell rings at odd times, day and night. The place is filled with baleful. horrible, inhuman laughter heard throughout. Your eldest son, Ilya, 13 days ago. I was going to backtrack. He has another child still alive.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I have a daughter,
That's good.
Paula. He is, however, more than happy to give you directions to the Abbey if you so request.
Yeah, for the morning.
Yeah.
We can go there in
So
the
we can
morning.
head out there first thing.
For now, sleep is important. Rest, you know.
Mhm.
Real quick, if there's a name for this. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna backtrack it a bit. Mr. Krezk, Dmitri, will actually host you guys at his house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think
Okay.
there was a tavern in Raw. In Krezk.
Even better.
Even better.
Yay, house buddies.
And
Hey, we just don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
as you all go into his home and through his doors, we're going to end the session.
Fantastic.
And on that note, I'll be right back because food is ready.
Fair enough.
Chat,
risk
have a
it
good
all for
night
some
from
black
me
magic.
early.
Thank you, chat, for, as always, for coming by and watching with us.
Yeah.
Lots of plans in the works, lots of things going on in the background, but I hope you all still enjoyed nonetheless. And yes, I know, so soon, I know. But I'm trying to reduce the session lengths just a little bit. I need a little bit more prep on some of the stuff here in Krezk, as this is a new town hub. There's a lot more quests here, and I gotta prep all of that stuff still.
We also have very unorthodox methods on how we go about things.
Yes. So I will never know exactly what they'll do next. So I try to be ready for anything. I didn't need just a
can't
little bit
wait.
more prep time.
I
Expect the
can't wait
unexpected.
for your next thing to be like, now why did you all do that?
Party's
Well,
like, all right,
Sam
we're
and I
killing
all
the
got-
abbot.
Only
Hey,
if they
you-
fix Cere first. I mean, what?
You said he was Strahd's minion, and maybe the hot witch that Samael's into, maybe wants it.
I'ma risk it.
Well, you got to make your first mistake sometime.
The man
This
of
is true.
people.
This is true. This
I
is
blame
true.
you, but I cannot.
Put me as All Might with the one hand up.
Well, chat, as per usual, thank you for coming by. Thank you for watching. And
Goodbye, chat.
have a good night. We'll see you guys next week for episode 25 of Deathmarch, CurseofStrahd. So 25, the Abbey, St. Markovia.
Let's go.
Until then, sweet dreams. Go get some food. Go get some sleep. Do whatever you gotta do to make your nights good. I'm rambling now. Now is your DM.
Bye.
Playing with stories.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.